injury in practice yesterday. So Duke's been through a lot. We are fully supportive of Duke. He was having a good training camp. It's a tough blow for him, but he'll be back. It'll be a long rehab for him, but he'll be back. So we'll place him on IR at some point here over the next couple of days, and then we'll go from there. So I'll open it up for questions.
John.
Yeah, good morning, Bill. How are you today?
Morning, John. Good, John.
You talked to us yesterday about calling out situations for Tim and Anthony. Since you're not calling plays, what is different about practice now for you?
I wouldn't say that practice is too much different, because even last year, Tim Kelly would relay the play into Deshaun quite a bit, so Deshaun's very used to hearing Tim's voice in the helmet. So relative to my role, it's really the same. Maybe I can spend a little bit more time watching the defense and watching them, especially early in practice and things like that. So maybe that's a little bit different, but overall, I don't think it's too much of a different role for me relative to practice.
I have a follow-up. Other than weather, is there an advantage for being in the bubble, and do you plan on staying in the bubble for the rest of camp?
We'll go. We were outside before. I know yesterday was the first day for you guys, but we were outside, I think 3 or 4 days before that. We'll be inside again today, but we will go back and forth between inside and outside. I think full pads will be inside, but when we go to shells or OTA type practice, if that's what we're going to do, we'll go outside.
Aaron Wilson.
Morning, Bill.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, with Laramie Tunsil, now that you've had him a whole year in your system and everything, and he has more time with all the rehab he's been able to do and get stronger, what do you guys expect from him this year? What are some of your hopes for Laramie now that he's had a lot of the advantages of this year to get ready for this season?
Yeah, you can already tell. I mean, he's a great player. He's shown up every day. Real technician. Very athletic, very smart, works really well with Max Sharping on that left side. And I think you just said it really well that, he's been in the system now for a year. Last year when the trade took place, he really didn't have a whole lot of time, to get ready for, whether it's everything from the cadence to obviously his own assignment and then working with the other guys up front. Mike Devlin's done a great job with him. Nick Martin has done a really good job, and Laramie's practicing really well. We're glad. Both the tackle situation for us, I believe, right now is really a good one.
I just have a quick follow-up. You've said before about how hard Brandon Dunn works, and now you guys signed him to a new contract in the offseason, really early in the offseason, and he's going to have a bigger role. What do you think about him stepping in there for you all, and what do you feel like Brandon's capable of?
Yeah, Brandon, ever since he's been here, has been just a really good day-to-day, very consistent guy. He's got leadership qualities. He's been a very consistent player on the field, very tough. He's a strong player. He understands our system. He understands our culture. And we felt like he was somebody that we really wanted on our team. And that's why we did what we did in the off season with him and Kennard. So, Brandon just keeps getting better because he shows up every day. He gets better and better every day because he's there every day.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, Mark.
How much have you seen the growth in Titus Howard from last camp to now?
Absolutely. He's much improved. He really understands our system. I think that's a tough deal as a rookie to come in for him and Max to, play on the offensive line, and then for Titus to have to deal with an injury. And he's come back from that, and he's out there every day. And like I said to John, really think this tackle situation is good as long as we can stay healthy. But even our backup situation there is a good one. So, because you have A-Rod and Gerald Hawkins we just brought in, and then Charlie Heck, who we drafted, who's coming along every day. So feel like Titus is doing a really good job, and glad we have him on the team, no doubt about it.
Bill, how badly do you feel for the organization and for your fans that in your home opener, you're going to have to play in front of an empty stadium against the Ravens?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough decision. I know that Cal and Jamie, came to that decision because that's what's in the best interest of our fans and where we are right now with this virus in Houston and really, in the country and in the world. That was in the best interest of the health and safety of those fans. But at the same time, it's tough. It's tough. It's not easy. We have, you think back to the Buffalo game last year. I mean, the crowd was such a big part of that win for us and many, many other games that since I've been here that they've really willed us to win. So, it's tough, but it is what it is. And, we'll see him soon, but we won't see him in September.
So I know you've known JJ for a long time at this point, but does he still do things that surprise you or impress you?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, I've seen a lot over the years from him. I've seen him take over games. I've seen his work ethic in practice. I've seen him, just the other day, I saw him, it was a passing play and it was like a drill where it was like 2 steps, put a move on and then chase the ball. And he chased the ball about 60 yards down the field and tried to punch it out of the receiver's hands. I mean, so to say that I would be surprised, Christy, I don't know. I mean, I've just seen his work ethic and what makes him a great player day in and day out. And, but yeah, there are things that you see for a man of his size and athletic ability, every day, you definitely say to yourself, wow, that's a pretty special player right there.
And how have you seen him evolve and change as he's gotten older and kind of dealt with this various injuries and the things he's had to deal with over the last few years?
Yeah, he's had to deal with it a lot. I mean, I think he's in a great place right now. I think that, I think over the years, there's probably a better question for him because he knows a lot more about it than me. But, I think that he's changed his workout habits, his workout routine. I think that he is somebody that takes a lot of pride in really understanding, the training methods and the medical methods that are being used and what's out there for him. And I think he's just a really smart guy when it comes to those things. And I think he's had to adapt over the years, dealing with all the things he's had to deal with.
Hey, Bill, you've talked about obviously using Duke and David on the field together at the same time or building packages like that. And you also have a fullback coming into his second year. And Cullen, league-wide, some of the best offenses last year were teams that used a lot of 21 personnel. I'm wondering, what do you think is kind of the relationship between that efficiency and that the uptick in that usage versus defenses kind of devoting resources to stop the pass?
Yeah, it's an interesting question and something that ever since I've been in the NFL that you think about year to year. Really it's a matchup league, Aaron. So when you put a personnel grouping out there, you're trying to think about how the defense is going to match that. So if you put 11 personnel out there, is that a good matchup versus their nickel? Or if they play you in base, or if you put 21 personnel out there, is that a good matchup versus their base defense? Is that better than your 11 versus their nickel? So I think that has a lot to do with your personnel and then what you think the defense will give you, and I think that's what makes this league strategically just a really, really fun league to coach in, and also a very challenging league. I think when you see the uptick in 21 personnel, I think you see a lot of people using that F position, that fullback position as another tight end or a fullback. And what does that mean? Can that give you, will that dictate base defense, or will that dictate, hey, they're pretty good in the passing game there, we're going to see sub defense there? So I think a lot of that, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's the thought process that when Tim and I sit down, we think about our opponents and we think about, okay, we really like this personnel for us, but what is that going to dictate relative to how the defense is going to play us?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Unrelated to that, but I also wanted to ask, with Duke going out, especially too, what have you thought of Jacob Martin so far, just since he's come back in the building, and what can he do for you now that he, like Laramie, has a little more time in the system, not making the quick adjustment after the trade?
Right. No, he's just saw him out in the hallway. He brings a lot of energy to practice. He's got a really, really quick first step in his pass rush game. He's gotten better at understanding our system. I think he's a He's got the body type that helps us on special teams. Great guy, shows up to work every single day. Really a good pro. But yeah, I think he brings a lot of energy and a lot of juice to our defense.
Sarah.
Bill, before you traded for Laramie, whether that was asking around the league or with the Dolphins, what stood out to you about what you heard about him?
Well, you first of all, when you watched him on tape, you saw how athletic and how talented he was. And at the time we traded for him, I think he was 25 years old. So, for a guy 25 years old and how well he was playing in the league and, how we felt like he could help us, his value, he had a lot of value in that trade, obviously. And so, and then you also, in talking to Miami and understanding, his presence in the locker room, the type of person he is, really a good teammate. He's really a good teammate. I mean, out at practice every day, he's helping out Charlie Heck. He's helping out the young guys. He's helping out Hawkins, who's a new guy to our team, with how we do things and talking about technique. So, all of those things you heard about, and now you're seeing it firsthand.
John.
Morning, Bill.
Hey, Sean.
Can you take us through what you envision your role being, or Eric Murray's role being for this team, and also how's he acclimating so far?
He's another good pro. He's in a lot of starting packages for us as a safety. He's a versatile guy. He's played in the deep part of the field. He's played down in the box. He's been a personal protector on the punt team. He's been on the kickoff coverage team. He's had a versatile type of career, and he's a very smart guy. And so I think he can fill a lot of different roles for us. We have a lot of different packages on defense where he's going to be in there quite a bit, and then he's going to help us on special teams.
We'll do Aaron and then John McClain. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yes. Bill, when you were looking at undrafted free agents, what did you think of Scotty Phillips? Guy that I saw, thought he had a pretty good first practice there in pads. Thank you.
Yeah. One thing that stood out to me about Scotty right away was he doesn't fumble very much. Knock on wood again. Hopefully he doesn't fumble today. But I think he only had one fumble in his career at I believe it was Mississippi State. I think it's Mississippi State, Ole Miss. I get those confused. And is it Ole Miss? Yeah, Laramie and A.J. Moore, they get mad at me when I get those confused because of the Egg Bowl and all that. But yeah, he that's one thing that stood out was ball security. I think he's getting better. I think that he's in a very competitive position. Karan Higdon's practicing really well too. He had a couple of good runs yesterday that you probably saw. So it's a very competitive position, but I do think that Scotty's working at it and he's improving.
Last one for John McClain.
Bill, who will get more practice time with Ejiofor going down?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. We talked about that a lot last night. Obviously Whitney's been here a long time and we know what he can do and we're bringing him along at his own ramp up schedule. Jacob Martin, who we just talked about, his role could increase. Brennan Scarlett, obviously, so you have some guys there that, and then John Grenard, John Grenard, is getting better and better, works very hard, long way off though as a rookie, just like all the rookies are. But yeah, I mean, John, I think it's interesting because I think defensively we look at the different skill sets and we try to figure out how each guy fits. And Duke had a very unique skill set. You could use Duke in a lot of different ways. He wasn't just an outside backer. He could do some different things. So I don't know, relative to replacing that exact skill set. I think it's more about, okay, what can these guys do and how can we fit it to what we're trying to do?
Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.